Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or whenever it happens to be that you're tuning in. My name is Brian Spencer, account executive with Greater Vancouver Realtors, and welcome to your June episode of Broker's Corner. So for those of you who haven't tuned in before, Broker's Corner is a monthly video series where we detail changes in the market, regulatory shifts, and occasionally a celebrity interview. Viewers are really lucky today to have Kevin Skipworth, managing broker at Dexter Realty, and a very close personal friend of mine as a guest. We're going to chat a little bit about the market and a couple of good news stories going on in his life. Kevin, thanks for coming.
Thank you very much, Brian. It's great to be here and great to be out there with everybody else on Broker's Corner.
Fabulous. So first thing, obviously everyone wants to talk about, we are into the second half of the year now. How would you say things went for the first half? What are your thoughts for the second half?
It's an interesting market.
Yeah.
I feel like we've seen some better activity of late. I said to somebody, it's kind of like turning a corner, but you don't really need your seatbelt on yet. So we're seeing some better signs, but there's still a lot going on globally, a lot going on provincially, federally.
A lot of stuff we can't control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of uncertainty, and that continues, and that's the unfortunate part of today's market.
Well, there's a lot of pent-up demand as well.
Absolutely.
I know Dave loves that's his thing, is the pent-up demand. And he's got a point.
Absolutely. There's so many buyers out there that want to make a move, probably did make a move back during COVID, are not in the right place, and so they're waiting for the right moment to get out of perhaps where they don't want to be. But absolutely, I mean, we've seen probably since 2017 markets that are below average, and so there's only so long that people will stay in where the place they are. There's a lot of buyers that want to get into the market, and a lot of people upsize, downsize, life changes, whatever the case may be.
People still move, people still get promoted, they have kids and die. So everyone, the moving still needs to happen.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it's not all doom and gloom. The market obviously is softer than we'd like it to be right now, but it's not all doom and gloom. There are a couple of feel-good stories, which is kind of why we're here to talk to you today. You just got a pretty special award. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I was given the Legend of Real Estate Award by REW. It was a nice honor from them to be recognized. I've been a managing broker since 2008. I've been in the industry since 2005. Worked very closely with REW over the years, and our brokerage is a big proponent of their marketing. And so I've really had a great relationship with them, and all the things that I try to do to help our agents to be better in terms of marketing, in terms of opportunities through REW, but other things. And so it was a nice honor for them to recognize me for that, and
that's very cool.
Very much appreciated.
That's very cool. So in terms of the award itself, I did a little reading up on it. It's 20 plus years in the market, and community impact and leadership, and so what were the exact kind of parameters?
As you say, it's 20 years in the business. That's the first honor.
Yeah.
But as I say, being a managing broker for these many years, I've sat on a number of committees through organized real estate, through GVR, BCREA, through our previously a real estate council, and now BCFSA. Other areas that I've been involved in. I'm a director on CHOA, Condo Homeowners Association. So it's helping to excel the profession and do everything we can to build it up.
So from my understanding, it's not just, longevity, time in the business. It's not just, performance. There's also the leadership and community impact side of things. As a leader, a leader in the community, what does that portion kind of mean to you?
Well, it's important to lead by example and help raise the bar in the industry, and both professionalism as well as helping buyers and sellers find homes. I'm an active realtor as well as a managing broker, owner of a real estate company, but I still want to make sure that I give time to any way that I can in helping the profession and helping different committees, and it's important to do everything you can, and sometimes maybe it's too much, but I think it's never too much, and it all helps us to be better. But for me, it was an honor to be in a room with so many others that excel in this profession, and others that were recognized for their achievements. So for me, I think it's an honor to be amongst so many others that do so much as well.
Yeah, well, we're really proud as well. Obviously, we wanted to make sure we're highlighting it for you. Now, as someone who's, seen a number of different market shifts, obviously 20 years in the business, was it 2005 you got into the business?
2005.
So you
Yeah.
would have seen the financial crisis, you would have seen the big boom during COVID. What would you say has stayed the same between, the shifts, the dips, and the spikes?
I think it's important to connect with your clients and to help them understand what's going on. Markets are markets, and so it's important to educate your clients. They're going to find information in many different places, but you want to be the source to help them find information, keep them up to date, and in real time. And we have so much ability to gather intel in real time and to be able to feed that back to our clients. And I think that's the most important part in any market, whether it's a busy market, a slower market, through challenging times like we're dealing with, same as the financial crisis.
Certainly.
The early kind of 2010s, we saw the market pick up again, and then it slowed down through higher interest rates. And then again, after 2016, we saw various layers of government regulation, which impacted the market, impacted how people bought and sold real estate. And I was always trying to make sure we were up to date and understanding what those changes were so that our buyers and sellers understood so they could make decisions knowing all the information.
Got it. Got it. And, you know, obviously, as a community leader, you do a fair amount of mentorship, obviously within the brokerage. If you could talk to yourself, as 2005 Kevin, what piece of advice would you give yourself?
I think it's funny. I was on with Marty Douglas this morning from BCRA.
Oh, yeah.
I was asked to take part in the new managing brokers in a program that they put on, and so I was asked to talk about what I wish I knew or things that as a managing broker. And there's so many things that when I came into being a manager and even a realtor in 2005, I had great mentors. David Peerless, Tony Iwanu, Brian Thompson. And such great people in the brokerage, and I think some of the biggest things I learned was to listen, to be curious about things, to seek information as much as you can, because there's never too much that you can know, and probably a lot of things that we don't know and wish we knew. So it's just trying to really do as much as you can to know what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, typically, with Broker's Corner being a monthly kind of series, I like to ask my guests before we sign off if there's anything else they want to talk about, whether it's, something cool, personal going on in their life, or, something that they're, curious about the market, or something they just want to impart to the general viewership. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now it's so important to pay attention to everything that's going on. There is so much changing so quickly between what's coming out from geopolitics to the market to you name it. So just trying to pay attention to everything that's going on to help our buyers and sellers understand what's going on in terms of the market. AI is a huge part of what we're seeing changing right now. And so trying to keep on top of that. And there's a lot of great resources out there. So just trying to keep on top of that. Personally, it's something I'm trying to focus on to understand more and be a resource with that. But you name it, what isn't changing right now?
Yep, you got that right. Disruption is the favorite word around here. There's a lot of stuff changing. AI is a huge thing, not just in the real estate world, but pretty much everywhere else. So trying to keep on top of the rapid changes is really key.
Absolutely.
But that about wraps it up for our June episode. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and we will see you in July.
Thank you, Brian.